Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this video, we're going to dive into a basic toggle function, of which we're going to improve on a couple of different iterations to really explore the concept of render props and why you might want to use them. So let's get started in this video as we build a basic toggle. Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this video, we're going to get started with our project that we're going to be using. So what we need to do first is do a new create React app. And I'm just going to call mine React Projects. Okay. And this is going to create a new application for us. After this, we'll just need to change directories inside of this and do yarn start. Like any other create React app you've probably used at this point. Now, I should mention now that we've already used create React app here, but this series expects that you have create React app already installed. If you don't, check out one of the Level Up Tutorials videos on create React app. It's in the React 16 for Everyone series. It's the very first video. Okay, so now at this point, we're going to change directories into React-projects and do yarn start. And I'm also going to open up this project in my text editor, which is going to be VS Code for this series. Okay, so here is our project, and here is our welcome to React. You're probably used to seeing this sort of stuff by now. If you haven't used Create React app before, it basically is just a way to get up and running really quickly with the React project without having to worry about too much anything other than, well, writing the code. Okay, so check it out. This is our project, and this is where we're going to be spending all of our time inside of mostly app.js, importing things in here. And the way I'm going to be doing it is when we have a new sort of project, we're going to be creating a new component or a new file, and we'll be creating a lot of these as we go. So what is our first experiment here? Now, the first thing we're going to be doing is taking a concept that you may have been hearing quite a little bit about recently, which is the concept of render props. So through this first couple of videos here, what we're going to be doing is building a basic toggling component. And through this toggling component, we're going to go several steps until we have what is a reusable toggling component that uses render props, and will sort of blow your mind just how reusable and excellent this is. So over the course of these videos, you're not only going to understand how to build something with render props, but you're going to understand why. And then you'll be able to take this actual toggle component to any project that you're going to be using. I use this all over Level Up Tuts myself. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new component. I'm going to have a new file. I'm going to name it toggle.js. Now, I use a React extension to create my components. If we head to my extensions in VS Code and we look at React, you can see that I use a React snippet library called ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native Snippets. And this includes a ton of snippets. Now, one of my very most favorite snippets that it includes is the RCC, as in React Create Component. It basically just gives you a very most basic React component. In fact, there's a whole bunch of different options in here as well. So if we come into our toggle, if you want to use this extension, you'll be seeing me using this everywhere. Okay, so this is the one that I like to use. So because of that, I can create a new React component with RCC. You can do it any way you'd like, and we're going to give this a name of toggle. Now inside of this toggle, we're simply going to give this a button, and this is going to say show hide. Now, this is going to be a very basic toggle. So in this system, we're going to have an initial state of false. So we're going to have the state is equal to, and then the it's on or off. We're going to have on is equal to false. Okay, this is a toggle, whether it's on or off. Now, next, we're going to have the actual toggle method here, where it's just going to be toggle. We're going to do so with an equals and then an arrow function. So this method is equal to an arrow function where we're going to this.setState. And what we're going to be doing is setting the state of on to equal to the opposite of this.state.on. Okay. You've probably seen this sort of JavaScript for setting state in React 1,000 times. We're simply just toggling a variable, right? When we run this function, we're going to say, hey, give me the current state of on, and give me the opposite of that, and then currently set that to on. Now at this point in our actual code, we could come down here and toggle something. So if we were to use this sort of inline conditional syntax, we could do this.state.on ampersand, and then we could have our parentheses and then anything we would like to be shown in these parentheses. Now, if you haven't seen this technique, we're basically saying if this value is true, then by using these double ampersands, we're going to show this. Now, if this value is false, we're just not going to output anything in here at all. So if you haven't seen that, this is what this is doing. This inline sort of conditionals is a great way to write your conditionals like this, a perfect use case for something like this. And we can just have an H1 here and say, toggle me. Okay, toggle me. Check it out. Now the last step, we just need to run this.toggle on our button click. So we can do an on click, and this is going to be equal to, and then this.toggle. Okay, now at this point we can head to our app.js and import our new toggle component. And here we should have a fantastic little easy toggle component. So we can say import toggle from ./toggle like this. Now if we head down here, we can get rid of this paragraph here and we can just import our toggle. Okay, so like this, we should now actually have our toggle component, which by default should just have a show hide button. I'm going to zoom in on the interface here, click hide, show hide. The toggle me shows up, hides, shows, hides. Now this is super fantastic because this is the kind of thing you're going to have to do all the time. Maybe you have a menu or something like that, or maybe you have a modal, things that we're going to be getting more into in later videos here. But as you can see here, we have now created a basic toggle. Now, before we get into the more advanced ways of doing this kind of toggle, let's talk about the shortcomings of this sort of system. Well, we have a toggle here. That's great, but the toggle is not reusable, right? This value that it's always toggling is sort of always tied to the actual toggle itself. And if you wanted to have another toggle, you would have to set up this whole state toggling system again itself. Now, granted, you could have this, what it's toggling as a child of this, like if you were to open this up and have something in here, like an H1, you could have this like this and say, hello. Now, instead of the toggle me, we could output this .props.children. Okay, let's check this out. And now if we show hide in here, you can see it is showing hiding hello. So again, this is a little bit more flexible here. But what are some issues? Well, the issues here are that, well, shoot, we now have to have this button, the on click, everything has to be inside of this component. So even though we're passing things in here, we're still rendering this and then the button, right? So that doesn't give us a ton of flexibility. So what we're going to be doing over the next couple of videos is taking this from being a standard sort of component to a render prop sort of system, and you're going to see how exactly it's going to make our lives better. But on top of that, you're going to understand render props completely, okay? So take this example. Right now, we have our children, and as we move on, you're going to understand more and more why we would want to make something like this into a render prop. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. Fire up the next video as we take this one step further by using an actual render prop. So I hope you're enjoying this preview of Level 2 React. If you want to check out this full series where there is 23 videos where we cover all sorts of things like portals, some really amazing animations. We cover styled components in depth where we're creating sort of a reusable system. We even dive into the new React Context API, and we build some really amazing stuff. So if you want to learn and level up your React skills, check out Level 2 React, available for sale right now on leveluptutorials.com/store. It's going to be the first video up here right near new to Level Up Tutorials, or you can see it in featured products. Now, if you want to get access to this series along with all of these other series you see here, you can check out Level Up Pro, which is a premium subscription service where you can get access to all of the content on Level Up Tutorials, where there's a new premium series every single month. In addition to that, if you subscribe annually, you save 25%. So if you like the content and you want to keep getting new monthly tutorials every single month for a year, check out the subscribe annually. You'll save some bucks and you'll get access to everything. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.